Hi, my name is Paige Fluker, and this is my week 3 feasibility checklist for my life coaching service for women of color. So, after reviewing my business feasibility checklist, I was able to see that I'm in a pretty good position. There were quite a few things that I was moving in the right direction for, but these were the top 5 areas that I saw I still needed to put quite a bit of attention in, especially since they are very important areas. So those areas are the identifying the target market interest, ensuring that this is a product that they will utilize and a service that they could see themselves using and benefiting from, measuring growth, sales experience, and my industry experience. Um, because life coaching is one of the fastest growing industries, second only to information technology, I'm not really as concerned about the industry experience because I do have quite a bit of experience in communications, which entails quite a bit of interviewing and identifying and questioning subjects to gather information and for clarity and conciseness. But I do understand that I'm not quite as experienced in the industry because I've never had a coaching practice, and I'm not sure, 100% sure how coaching sessions are exactly supposed to be run outside of it, how I learned them in the educational environment. As far as the sales experience, I primarily, my background is in the government, so I have not had to implement or utilize any type of sales experience. But I will say that with my communication background, I have learned quite a bit about persuasion and techniques like that. So I'd have to definitely get more experience and learn more about selling my service and identifying the sales channel, the method in which I would like to sell it. Would I like to just focus on one on one coaching, group coaching? Would I like to do monthly coaching versus hourly coaching, subscription service? That's something that I really need to pay a lot more attention to. And measuring growth, because my niche for my coaching service is very specific, and it's good for me because it makes me not so much worried about competition. It does hamper my ability to measure growth because there's not a lot of data out there in regard to my coaching niche. So if it is, it's usually segmented data. So that is an area that I really have to be able to identify so I can know how feasible the business will be long term. Like, is this something that, oh, this period of time is causing the target market to have a need for this, or no, they won't have a need for this in the future. Um, I won't be able to foresee that happening in the future. So what can I do about that? The first thing I do is to inform, engage, and connect, especially in regard to identifying if my target market is interested in my service. I need to go out and gather more primary research and feedback from women of color who I presume to have the problem that I am engaging them and trying to inform them about my solution. So definitely connecting with my target market more and getting to know more about them, getting out and sending out more surveys and testing, refining my MVP, and just gathering more primary research. That kind of goes hand in hand with the creating data because I don't really have a baseline platform to measure it from and I'm able to compare against. That primary research is going to really be essential in creating that baseline. So as the more women I talk with, the more groups of women that I speak with, the more interviews, the more surveys, I should be able to identify a pattern. And so that's what I mean by creating data. So being able to identify a pattern and moving with that pattern, refining on that pattern of data that I found. And lastly, I say educate, because I really have to educate myself more on making a sale, like the sales process, a sales funnel, and things like that. I don't really know that portion because I've always worked in government, so it's dealing with the taxpayers' money. And rather than making sales, we used kind of like communication to do the persuading, versus sales kind of language, or actions. So education will really help me to learn more about sales, as well as learn more about coaching strategies and coaching models that work, especially for beginners.